Premium looking portfolio websites are everywhere right now. And when you see them from the outside, it's really easy to assume they came from a huge budget, a full team working on it for weeks, and some process that's completely out of reach. But once you slow down and actually study the process, they start feeling a lot less mysterious. What makes them feel expensive and premium usually comes from the structure, the design choices, the motion, the treatment, and all the tiny little details working together in harmony. So in this video, we're going to do two things. First, we're going to recreate this $50,000 Lando Norris portfolio website locally as an experiment, just to understand how it works behind the scenes. Then, once we understand what makes it feel so premium, we're going to use that same thinking and use Codex to build two original websites for free that you can use as references for your own portfolio. Whether you're a designer like this, or a guitarist like this, whatever your profession is, you can use this workflow to understand and create a portfolio website for it. So let's start with the first part. The first thing you want to do is open the website you want to study in your browser. Then right-click and open Inspect. After that, go to the Sources tab, and this is where the website starts feeling a lot less magical, because now you can actually see how the project is organized. You'll usually find folders for images, videos, scripts, styles, and other assets. Now, we're not doing this so we can copy someone's work and publish it as our own. The goal here is to study the structure. So what I'm going to do is open one folder at a time, look at the files inside, and start rebuilding that same structure on my own computer. First, let's create a main project folder on my desktop, and then I start matching what I see. If the original site has an images folder, I'll make one as well. If it has a scripts folder, I'll make that too. If it has a styles folder, I'll create that as well. This part is repetitive, basic, and honestly, it's not the most exciting part of the process, I know. But it matters a lot, because if the folder structure is messy, things start breaking later, and then you waste time fixing problems that had nothing to do with the design itself. So let's keep going until the whole project folder feels clean and organized. Once that's ready, now we can actually do something useful with it. The next step is to install OpenCode. It's free, and this is the tool I'm using to open the project and run it locally. So once you install it, open it up, this is what the dashboard looks like. Now go to the bottom left corner, open Settings, and then click Providers. This is where you connect the AI model you want to use. In my case, I've added ChatGPT, but you can use whichever provider you already have access to. After that, go to the top left corner, click the plus icon and select the folder you just created. Now type Run and press Enter. At this point, OpenCode starts reading the files and getting the project ready to run locally. Give it a few seconds. After a little while, you'll see output like this, and that means it's ready for the next step. Now open your terminal. Type CD, then paste the path to your main project folder. Then copy the command OpenCode gives you. Paste that into the terminal and run it. Once that works, the website starts running locally on your computer. Now you can open it in the browser and actually see the layout, the structure, and the interactions working right in front of you. And honestly, this is such a useful moment because now the website doesn't feel untouchable anymore. You can look inside it, you can study it, you can see how things are connected. You can understand what's doing the heavy lifting. And once you get to this point, premium websites start feeling a lot more buildable. But just because you can recreate the structure doesn't mean you should take someone else's website and call it your own. That's not the point of this video. The point is to study what makes it work so you can use those ideas in your own way. So instead of stopping here, we're going to take what we learnt and build something original with a similar feel. And for that, I'm going to use Codex. So now I can start a brand new website project. I can give Codex a reference image. Then I can add a prompt describing the kind of design I want and let it generate the first version. I'm also using a web design skill here because it gives Codex a much better starting point. It helps with structure, spacing, hierarchy, responsiveness, and all those little front-end decisions that make the result feel more polished from the start. If you want to know how I set that up, then click on the top here to watch that video. Now, most of the time, the first version is not going to look amazing. Maybe the layout feels off, maybe the image placement is weird, maybe the spacing looks bad, maybe the interaction feels dead. That's normal. And this is exactly where most people give up too early. They generate one version, it looks rough, and they decide the tool doesn't work. But that's not the real workflow. The real workflow starts after the first result. So what I do next is take a screenshot. Look at what feels wrong and tell Codex exactly what I want fixed. Then I generate again, check it again, and fix it again. That back and forth is the actual process. Generate, review, screenshot, fix, repeat. Once you understand that, the whole thing starts making a lot more sense. Now, for the first designer portfolio website, I want the hero section to have a reveal effect. So I've prepared two versions of the same image. One is black and white, and the other is full color. The interaction I want is pretty simple. When I hover over the subject, the black and white version should reveal the colorful one underneath. So I can add both images into the project folder using the exact file names the code expects. And then I give Codex a prompt for the reveal interaction. Also, I'll leave all the prompts in the pinned comment and description down below. All right, let's give it a few minutes and the effect starts working, but not perfectly. Maybe the image isn't centered properly. Maybe the hover area feels off. Maybe the reveal is too weak. So let's do the same thing again. I can take a screenshot, point out the problem clearly, and let Codex fix it. After a few rounds, this is where it starts feeling really good. Now when I hover over the subject, the black and white image smoothly reveals the colorful version underneath. The placement looks right, the transition feels clean, and on top of that, there's a cursor trail effect that makes the whole section feel a lot more premium. Now, let's build a second version, a portfolio for a guitarist. This time, I want to push the idea a little further. Instead of using two versions of the same image, I'm going to use two completely different images of the same person. In the first image, the person is standing in a forest. In the second image, the same person is on a concert stage holding a guitar. So now instead of revealing just a color version, the hover effect reveals a completely different scene. We start the same way. New project, new reference images, new prompt. Codex gives its first version, and again, it's close, but it's still not there yet. So this time, I change the effect itself. Instead of a normal reveal, I want a splash ink effect. Something that feels more organic, more dramatic, and a lot more interesting than a basic fade. So when I hover, the second image should appear through that splash effect. I can give Codex the direction for that interaction and let it generate again. Now we're getting closer, but it still needs work. Maybe the trigger feels awkward. Maybe the image position is wrong. Maybe the animation looks stiff. So again, it's the same building and fixing process. Screenshot, feedback, fix, repeat. And this is the second big payoff moment. Now when I hover, the forest image transforms into the concert version with the guitar. The splash reveal feels smoother, the in and out animation looks polished, and the little music note trail effect following the cursor adds a really fun extra detail. At that point, it feels like the website has its own personality, and that's really the whole point of this workflow. You start by studying a premium website so it stops feeling impossible. Then you learn from the structure, use that understanding to draw your own creative inspiration, and build something original with your own images, your own prompts, and your own style. So in the end, you're not just copying a website, you're learning how premium websites are built. why they feel so polished, and how to use that same thinking to create something original with free tools, and honestly, that's the best part. And if you want to learn how to optimize your portfolio website for fast loading times and get a 90+ page speed score, then click here and watch this video next.